Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Welcome back to another episode of the Chad Smith Podcast. My name is Chad Smith, and today is Thursday, July 21st, 2022. And I'm joined, as always, by my co-host from California. Please welcome Spooky Morales.
Hey, Chad. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody in the chat.
I don't know how this is going to go so far because I don't have my coffee. I just have some water. Trying to hydrate today before we're going to work, and I don't think coffee would be the answer.
Hydrate? You mean it's been hot there?
Yeah, it's been a little warm here. Okay. A little warm working in the bolt factory.
Humidity?
A lot of humidity, a lot of heat, a lot of sun,
Ew.
a lot of humidity. It's gross.
It's been people are moist. Ew.
Yeah, very moist just walking outside. Hey, Rodney Posky, how's it going, man? Working in the plant today. Same with Jake Smith, working in the plant. Super hot.
Oh, Jake Smith?
Guys, try to run the air conditioning a little bit when I get there, before I get there today. Mr. Andy Gambino joining us. Good morning. Arden Paranormal. How's it going, Sam? We got Dogface Boy. How's it going, man? I saw you were up late on the Cassie channel. Cassie's Oracles and Beyond channel was going for 9 hours, I saw.
Whoa, marathon.
Yeah, getting those watch hours in. And we got My Flock is also in here. How's it going?
Hey, Sarah?
Sarah. And Spooky Morales in the chat. We got Hoff's live show. Good morning, Brassel. Enzo, how's it going, man? Good to see you. Let's see. Lil Carr, good to see you. John Zavrell, great to see you. Jeanette Sanchez, how's it going? Good to see ya. Yeah, I had to come kill the stream. That's right. All right, guys, we have an awesome guest backstage. So I think mostly everyone in here is familiar with AkashiCris. But today we are going to learn a little bit more and get some more information on the stuff that she's super interested in. So today, please welcome AkashiCris.
Hey, Chris.
Hi. I'm trying to get the right lighting. How are you?
We're doing good.
We're doing good now you're here.
I'm so glad to be here. I can't believe I'm here. Of course, I gave you a hard time to get here, but that's okay.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah.
Me and Spooky thought we were in trouble.
Okay, chat. So we're sitting there on Discord, and they're talking about needing a guest for today. And I'm sitting there going, okay, hi guys, great job yesterday, crickets. And then Spooky's like, I wonder what we could possibly do. And I'm like, Marsha, am I invisible? I literally said that. I said, should I be offended that they don't bother to invite me? And then
the whole time,
they're out. Yeah, go ahead. Tell your part.
I was going to say, the whole time I'm driving to work, trying not to look at my phone. And the whole time this is going down and the world's melting down. And I'm like, no, I'm trying to respond. And then I'm just expecting Spooky to be like, of course you can be the guest. Of course. And Spooky wasn't even, because he was busy too.
He was busy too, but he did interject and said, F you guys. I walk away for 10 minutes and there's 16 broken relationships.
Yeah,
I thought it was hilarious. And I was kidding the whole time. And you guys are like, oh shit, we upset her. And then I'm like, okay, bye. It made it worse. Bye. That's my way of
yeah, that was fun. It was fun.
Yeah, it was so fun.
I just couldn't believe that in the same week we had Carl Vibe, a.k.a. Carl the Crusher, and AkashiCris. We're not worthy.
Carl is so awesome, you guys. Thank you so much for even including me in that sentence because he is amazing. I met him in person and I'm just like, what a lovely person and so knowledgeable. And he's just very much into, the fact that he does the research and just says, this is what the research said, regardless of how much we would want it to be something else. Here's some facts. So I thought that tells a lot about the man, don't you?
I think it's
Yeah.
awesome that you're on the show after Carl because of our shared interest in what he's been working on and the fact that we just totally obsessed with the dude and his work. But now we
Yeah.
can actually do a little recap about maybe some of the things that he hinted on and talked about when he was on here, especially the work there that he's doing in the Uinta Basin.
Yeah, I don't know if you caught, he can't talk a lot about Skinwalker, but you did catch that they are talking to him. And he kind of caught a little bit of, he is giving some input into that. And that's really cool because he said they were partnering up. It's like, you guys, you want to go down this path. They're talking and collaborating. And that's a huge deal because now we're going to have 3 teams. I mean, there's a lot more teams. By the way, you got your mug, and I got my T-shirt. Tody Waba merch, representing
Toddy
Tody
Waba
Waba.
Multiverse.
Look, all 3 of us. Hi. This merch can be found at Tody Waba merch store. Go there. That's our.
Go to that
that's
one
our,
time I was abducted by
We're now
aliens.com.
We're sponsoring Tody Waba. Sponsoring Tody Waba is Chad Smith podcast and AkashiCris. Mom. Love
right.
you. I'm traumatized now. Why would she say that?
Who's that?
Jamie.
She can't handle all the love.
I think it was too much love. She's a little overwhelmed.
Oh, well.
But anyway,
have to
so
deal
back
with
to I'm really ADD, so you guys are gonna learn that.
Oh, that's fine.
This process, like wee squirrel. I'll go in a totally different direction. But back to what I love about Carl and what he's doing there is that I think he's tying it together. And the fact that he was able to identify at least, duplicate that the headlights, a particular combination, very rare combination of headlights, would cause the phenomenon. But at the same time, there's something in the ground, which is where it's great because he's still digging into, there's something to the petroglyphs. There's RF readings being taken out there. And he's the one taking that on.
Mhm.
His work with Bartell is amazing. His latest videos with Chris Bartell and the stuff they're doing.
Yeah.
Even the alignment, the alignment of all the structures and the signs and those portals, those famous vortexes.
I wish we asked him more about that. The vortexes, like the spirals that he keeps finding, because it does seem like he does think that they're lined up and there's like a map that's somehow laid out and he just hasn't figured. It's like there's a mystery going on there and he's just trying to figure it out through the petroglyphs.
Exactly. And I wasn't sure what he's aligning to. I can't remember the latest video, but I know that he's tying it together to a particular area. I thought that there's some kind of like Indian, like they were actually doing some type of rituals or something. There's significance to where all these are kind of aligning to when he starts to spot them. And those portals, those vortexes are everywhere. I don't know, Spooky, did you see the last video, the one that has the vortex that looks like a galaxy?
I did. And the thing about the last video is the images that he's showing, to me, they seem way more easy to see. They're like more visible and more even clear.
That one was the one with the actual, looks like the Milky Way almost, but it's like kind of twisted with, it's totally different design, but it is Fremont. I think it has the same patina and everything. So, I mean,
I'm just going to go ahead and lay it out on the table right from the beginning. Why are scientists and people that have worked on government projects on these issues calling on someone like Carl the Crusher to come and work with them? I mean, to me, it leans more toward the spiritual side of the phenomena and what we're dealing with here. I mean, I think they're looking to go ahead.
No, you finish.
I think they're looking to somebody, that's into the spiritual side of it and trying to go and discover the roots of what we're looking at there, not just from a pure scientific point of view, modern day scientific point of view, but actually dive deep into the spiritual side and find out what our ancestors were writing on these walls, what stories they were trying to tell us.
It's a hard sell for archaeologists, just like, I mean, you see it in UFO world all the time. You see it, astronomy, so it's a hard sell. I've asked, it's funny because you go into archaeology world, it's almost like they have their own UFO Twitter, but like Arc Twitter with like all the different players, but just a different subject. And it's just very hard to sell. I mean, to me, it's so obvious that all these people were connected somehow, and all these petroglyphs are so similar across, all the other on the other side of the world. How could they, back to what Carl was talking about, had they talked? Did they have some kind of magical internet? So it's just a trip, but they won't. It's very hard to get them to engage in even the conversation. I was researching my favorite. I have to say it first, because I have to say Göbekli Tepe at least once a day. I have a picture of Göbekli Tepe in my cabin. Swear to God, my husband got it for me, a portrait along with two Olafs. I have a picture, Olaf Rockners. I have a picture of Göbekli Tepe. But well, shit, that's where I lost my freaking train of thought. Where was I going, dude? Bring me back.
We were talking about Göbekli Tepe. I would definitely want to learn more about that.
Oh yeah. No, the Göbekli Tepe piece was that I asked. I saw there was an article written by Dr. Martin Swedman, and he's actually more of a like statistician, more on the math side than the archaeology side, and even he struggles with getting through to the archaeologists and finding an interpretation of the vulture stone, that middle stone that's in Göbekli Tepe, and nobody can ever explain, but so specific. I asked him if it was possible, there was symbology there that they were binary stars, a particular set of binary stars in the Cygnus constellation. And he's like, well, yeah, I love him. He did not talk like this because it was an email. And I love you, Martin, wherever you're out there. I'm always quoting his stuff, so I got to love him. But he was like, well, they wouldn't have telescopes at the time. And that's that boundary that we put on this.
Right.
With everything we've learned about remote viewing or astral projection or the power of consciousness, that we know it's there. We know it plays a part, but they won't even address it. It's like it just not, the woo is out. Anything, and they consider that woo.
Right. And the other thing too is that if anything like that did exist back then, what would be left of it now after multiple meteor impacts and different things that have happened throughout the years? What would, I mean, if even if they did come up with some type of way to see the stars like a primitive telescope, I mean, if it was just left out in the open and nature did its thing, it probably wouldn't be around today.
And how could they transmit, how could they all have it? But because we're talking about all places, all these different places around the world showing similar capabilities that we cannot exactly explain. We try, man. People really freaking try to, duplicate how you would move. Somebody tried to do the Easter Island statue, like dragging it with ropes and a bunch of people. And it was like so horrible. And I'm like, okay, you're not taking into account how far this was, how uphill, how many total tons,
there's something that we're missing.
Explain it. Sure. There's something that we're missing, and nobody will address it. And it's like we keep looking up for the answers, and I think we need to look down. It's like the answers have been there that will give us the answers to what's happening up there. I think it's all tied together. And Carl's taking a really good angle at this.
Well, Graham Hancock's one of the foremost leaders in these discussions, and he theorizes that we are a species with amnesia, right? We just simply do not remember. And I personally think, last time I'll talk about it today, is that the spiritual side of it, we are not a spiritual people anymore. Yes, we have our organized Western religions, but we are not a spiritual person. Once we get back to that spiritual side, we'll start rediscovering our past. And it's going to be. I don't want that to be the last time
you say that. You don't say that's the last time you're going to say that, because that topic is embedded into this whole thing. I mean, I really look at the drawings, look at the pictures. People draw what they saw in those petroglyphs in Utah. you have pictures of what looks like a grate next to a bunch of pictures that are normal goats, frogs, creatures that we know that are obviously recognizable, and there's all this other stuff that's not.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's something, and it's not just one place, and it's not just one time frame. It's it's 12,000 years ago for Göbekli Tepe. Potentially, who the hell knows for Pumapunku? It's Easter Islands. It's different time frames. So how are they connected?
Chris,
So that's why everyone wants to stop that. Mm-hmm.
Are you
Yes,
like
sir.
me? Do you ever believe the numbers, the dates that they give us, how old this planet of ours is?
No, I think no. I just but weird. It would be silly for them to think that they can really say this is how old it is. I mean, in some cases it'll be really obvious, but in some cases they're making a lot of assumptions.
But they do
I,
it.
I know they do it, but that's like the closest. They want to come up with an answer. It's like you want to close the case, right? You want to solve the case, you
Fill
want
in
to
the
get an
gaps.
answer, but make somebody understand this and think about. Okay, we are around this subject all the time, so we're very open-minded. A lot of people out there not necessarily can handle that everything they were taught might not be exactly what they were told it was. I mean, you're taught a certain amount of education about where we came from. Nothing talks about giants. Not school, not mainstream. They don't really talk about, the potential the giants existed. They don't talk about how did Pumapunku get such a manufactured, precise, pristine architecture at a time when they shouldn't have been able to. There's no way physically. To me, Pumapunku is like a mic drop. It's just I explain that. I'd love it when people try.
I think that it. Oh, go ahead, Chad. Go ahead.
I was going to say just one idea is that I think that once these people are in these positions to have the knowledge, it's like if they're being paid to have this information and to get that information out there and to write this narrative, then I feel like they feel a certain amount of responsibility to just fill in the gaps, even if they don't have the right answers, just to fill in the gaps
It's
so
an
that
ego
question's
thing
not
too.
there.
They're
Say
trained
it again.
to-
Say it again, Chris. You were right on. You can say it. Say
The
it loud and
egos?
proud. Yeah,
Ego?
that's where we're
Yeah, it's
going.
ego driven. Everybody wants to say, and I'm not accusing anybody of it because we're all human beings
We
and
are
we're
all
flawed.
guilty of
We
it.
love to think that we know the answers. I would
That's right.
love to think that, I have theories that, might be true of what these symbols mean, but I don't know because I wasn't freaking there. And it's hard until you're, it's difficult to stand out there and say that at the same time.
Personally, I think Turkey is a wonderful place to start, though, in our history map. So when you talk about the interests that you have of that area, I also look at other things. That is such an ancient land there on such a very important piece of the planet. One of the areas in Turkey that's always fascinated me are those caves built into the side of the
they're in Kuyu.
Cappadocia.
The caves that they're in Kuyu around the Cappadocia area, which
Yeah.
it's interesting because if you think about the tepes and what they meant, and what the people, if it's 12,000 years old, and they've actually accepted, they've said it's about 12,000 years old. But they're also, based on testing of material that was around there, because you can't do it on the solid stone. So I think it might be a little bit older, but that's where Younger Dreas comes in, because is it really a date stamp of what happened in Younger Dreas? If you look at Göbekli Tepe, it's like a bunch of circles and swirls, one over the other, right? And they're all buried and buried and buried, and they all seem to have been aligned slightly different. So it almost looks like it was, and they all align to the same things, like the I think it's Cygnus, yeah, yeah, it's Silver to Cygnus, and they all. It almost looks like it was tracking over time. But then they bury it. Think about what those people really needed to be focused on at the time, like finding freaking food, not creating these gorgeous, unexplainable structures, because people take it. People don't even understand how hard, some of those structures would have been to carve. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
they're creatures coming out of the stone, and we can share some pictures if you want to pull that up. I can.
Yeah, I think it's a good time to start sharing images. Show what we're talking
Let
about.
me make sure I'm pulling up the right
Yeah, I
one.
saw you were on slide 9, so let's just.
I'm
You
going
can.
back. Yeah, I know these slides by heart. Here we go. That's how do I? Can I share this, or you can share it?
I can
There we
bring it
go.
up. There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah. So in Göbekli Tepe, so you see all those, like the top picture is kind of the top view of those circles. So that's the one that everybody focuses on. And whenever we talk about the vulture stone, that's a vulture stone in the middle, which is a stone that seems to be it's got everything. It's got what, if you look at zodiacal, looks like it's got constellations. If you go to the next, I think there's a couple of slides over there about it. Oh, stay there. Hold on, Derek Kuyo. There's your picture of the caves.
Yeah.
At the bottom left. So these caves are sitting in the middle in between all these tepes, right? And all these structures that are built on these tepes, which is it translates like belly hill. So it's just mounds, right? These mounds, they buried that entire site there in the top right. They buried that. They hid it. They created it and they buried it. And there's a bunch of them underneath that are the same way. They're created. They have been doing the scanning, and they can tell the structures, even though they've only uncovered about maybe 10%, maybe that, of the entire site of that one tepe. Just in this picture, you see Karahan Tepe. That one, like last December, during this winter solstice, yeah, during winter solstice, you could actually see the light shining through. Like there's a hole lined up, and it's shown on top of one of those heads right there on Karahan Tepe.
Hey Chris,
And
speaking of light, I'm sorry to interrupt you. That the bottom left-hand corner, obviously we have our modern lighting in there, and it looks beautiful. But are there any suggestions or guesses as to how they lit up an area like that on a long-term basis? Because I just don't see
I
them
mean, they
using
have
candles.
no.
torches and
I mean,
stuff.
they would have had to use some kind of torch, but there are spaces where it's like they have oxygen that would have been down there. They have spaces that look like they were meant to keep cattle. So if you start tying all this together and you think about Younger Dryas and all these tepes around the area, and specifically that vulture stone that seems, I hang my hat on that zodiacal interpretation that stone defines the alignment of the stars during the Younger Dryas and summer
Can I answer
solstice.
that?
Okay.
I
Yes.
just want to give my opinion there on that question on the screen. I think that anytime that we try to bury information and data, and I mean that's what Göbekli Tepe and these other ancient sites really are. They are places that store data and history. Why was it buried? In my opinion, is so that they could build a new society, and we would know that old history and that old data.
I
That's a
totally
good
agree.
theory.
Because they were catastrophists, right? So we do know that about the area. Those pillars, a lot of the pillars don't have heads. They're missing heads. That's a sign of death. Or at least that's an interpretation and how, they've based on everything they've uncovered so far. So the question is this site a reaction and some kind of tracking of our history? Maybe they knew something was coming, because again, if you go down the consciousness route, and they could potentially, they don't need telescopes if they're using their mind, and they have some type of power that we don't to see things that might be coming. So that's where I take a little bit of a spin of more of a prediction. But at the end, is this structure that's supposed, and I don't understand how this is possible. They say that this is the oldest. I don't understand how that could be true. But the amount of work that it took to put this stuff back, to bury this huge, humongous site, to people that needed food, just something doesn't jive. And if it happened to Younger Dryas, is like, is this just a monument to Younger Dryas? And furthermore, that they use those caves because they knew what was coming, so that they, and who did we lose in this? did we lose the original creators of these structures?
Mhm.
Did we lose him? Did we lose him during Younger Dryas? Did we lose him as a result of? I mean, you get think about it. If you have such a catastrophe, it's a huge flood. Think about Titanic, right? People are climbing on each other trying to get the vest. I think we wiped them out. I think that somehow a lower evolved version that we are wiped out whoever knew how to do this. We buried it. I just and who knows what cycle of this is, because I'm starting to think that that whole multiple cycles is totally true.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah, I mean, if
but
time is
those caves are nuts, man.
oh yeah. Yeah, Enzo, me and Enzo are actually having a little conversation in the chat, but he was saying that if they were down there for so long, wouldn't the ceiling be blackened from soot? If that was their light source, was like torches and maybe oil burning and stuff like that. But even if they were burning oil lamps,
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, and so keep me honest on this one. I thought that in the Darren Kuyu and the in those caves, they never did find. I mean, rock came out of there, right? They dug it. I don't think they found whatever all the stuff that came out of this construction was ever found. How the hell do you make that without? I mean, you got to dig, and I mean, it doesn't just freaking dissipate
oh, that's
unless
true.
they had a way to make it. So you
Right.
would think, and it's not the only structure that's like that. There's several places it's like they're unexplainable in that all this stuff happened, but where did everything that came out of it? Because they're
Mhm.
carving into rocks. How did that? Where'd that go?
Even
freaking,
today, if you're driving on the highway and you go under an overpass, like you go underneath one of those bridges,
Mhm.
if you look, there's usually a pond somewhere near the bridge, and that's because they used the dirt where that pond is now. They used that dirt to build up the bridge. So
Yeah.
same thing. We're like, we have to move material around and stuff like that. So what you're saying is, like, if they're building these civilizations in the ground like this, where is all that material that's missing?
Yeah, because those are rocks, right? So this is all.
Right.
So where
You should
is
be able
the
to track-
material? Because and this is just one little teeny tiny picture. These structures are impressive and very extensive. So you would think that there was rock there. We carved it out somehow. But this is where a lot of the structures, you start looking across the board and they don't make sense. Like, this is pillar 18 right here. Is my favorite pillar, one of my favorite pillars, because of this little sign right here. You have no idea, and this is one of the sadder ones. There's a lot better. How hard it is. You see this. I mean, it looks simple, right? It's like, oh, they just carved it. No, they had to carve the entire rock around it for it to pop out. You see what I mean? It's flat,
Oh,
and you
right.
see the little whatever that one is. I can't remember. That's not the fox one, but they have this all over the place where these carvings are like sticking out of the side. Well, think about what it took to do that.
Is that called a relief or negative relief or something like that?
I can't remember
Where
what it's
the
called,
actual
but I think
image-
go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, it's like where instead of carving away the image, yeah, the image is actually popped out, and everything else around it is carved away from.
That's how all of these are. It's crazy, and this is in another area. Hold on, I want to show you.
These are fantastic
then-
slides, by the
Yeah,
way.
this is awesome.
This is my little place where I put together stuff that doesn't make sense. But like, you see this is where I've been just completely stuck, because this stone, if you look at the alignment, it looks to point to several, like only 4 potential dates that would have that alignment of constellations around the sun.
Mhm.
And one of them is 10,950, which is BC, which is supposedly Younger Dryas. So that's where, like, you start to trip out. We're talking about 12,000-year-old structures
Right.
that had all this detail. It's, and then
Are
go
those?
ahead.
Is that a scorpion or something like that on the bottom where it looks? Is it supposed to be a constellation?
Yeah, all these align to, and I don't have that one. Do I have that one? I don't have that slide, but basically this is the sun, and then you have all the different constellations represented, right?
Mm.
Is there any way you can blow that up to the whole screen?
No, unfortunately, since
No.
maybe for the
Just
whole
take this
screen.
off for a minute. Yeah. Well, never mind. It's not
Yeah, that
that good.
doesn't do it
Just
either.
put it back. That doesn't look good either. But I'll walk you through. So you see the three purses. This again, you've seen those damn purses all
Those
over the
handbags at the
place.
top.
Those you see them with the Anunnaki stuff that Anunnaki pictures or portraits, as well as in Giza and stuff. So you have those. So underneath you have the middle, which is the little round is the sun, and then he actually did a statistical comparison to Starlink on how, if you were to map these, what's the probability that this is a particular constellation, and that all these constellations would have been aligned around the sun in this way. And there is a certain years that are alignments, but the only one that makes sense is the 10,950, because the other one's like, I think 30,000 or 40,000.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so there's only certain times. But
Mhm.
here's where it gets really interesting. If you follow that rabbit hole, right? If this is a zodiacal interpretation, then what the hell are the purses? Well, the purses have these little animals on top, which it's interesting because this particular set, these pillars that we're looking at are pointing towards Cygnus. And here it's actually showing these match to Starlink as well. So are these signs, based on what he found, these would be the alignments of the equinox and solstices prior to or following the event. The summer, so the pillar itself is summer solstice. Those little animals are the preceding constellations that this was aligning to during the winter solstice and spring and spring and fall equinoxes of the same So are these seasons? You see what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
They're seasons. They're seasonal.
Mhm.
So if he mapped this to what it would have been aligned to, so this is aligning to Cygnus, and these are, and I don't have all the details of all the constellations, but if these are aligning to particular constellations and they happen to map to equinoxes and solstices around 10,950 BC, then maybe we start getting an answer on the freaking purses. Because those purses are everywhere. Everybody's holding the handbag. I don't think it's as simple as water or grain.
I'm curious, is there another explanation or a theory on what those could be? Because I have heard the handbag theory for a long time, and I believe even Graham Hancock subscribes to that idea. But
Which one did he subscribe to? Because I follow a little bit different path, I think. But tell me what. I can't remember. There's water, there's green, there's what was it? I mean, there's all kinds of different interpretations of what could be in here. I thought that was. Yeah, and so, do you know what the other? I'm talking to your chat. I'm so Puerto Rican. I'm so Puerto Rican. Hey, Enzo. Hey, Enzo. Check that out, Enzo. But it just doesn't. You have it with the Anunnaki holding the purse with those bracelets, everything. Mm-hmm. You have it in the Egyptian pyramids. I just don't think it's the same. It's not shrooms. Maybe it is shrooms. I honestly think they hold and this is going to sound real simple and stupid, but when you go on a trip, what do you take? You take a bag, right?
Yeah, all your luggage.
You bring back stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if what this really signifies is the points where they refill their knowledge? Because remember the ritualistic nature of equinoxes and solstices. I mean, all these are aligned to track an event, right? When solstice hits, when equinoxes hit, what do they get out of it? I am starting to think that this is more about the consciousness trip. Maybe they just liked To accessorize. Yes,
Accessorize?
they might have. Yes, because they went to the bodega and they all match the same exact purse. But again, would you have the same purse all over the world?
The whole world. That's the thing.
It,
When they're
But
not
why,
supposed to
Chris?
have any-
Why stone everywhere around the world and all the different areas of the planet? We see inscriptions. We see stories being told. We see why stone?
so to keep it. How the hell they knew that that was the one thing that would survive? Because they say that in like the same amount of time, most of the shit that we build would be gone.
And Chris, when you
so-
guys go out and doing your studies and your research, and you take your little electronic devices, and you go to
what?
these, yeah. Well, when
happen
but we
again.
see the researchers doing it, and they get the energy levels right, and they rise up whenever they get around certain parts of the stone. You know why is that energy in there?
Honestly, it'd be really interesting. That's what everybody's hunting for. But if you think about it, so if you start tying it all together, it's all a big puzzle, right? So you got frequencies that make a difference. You got structures that don't seem movable, yet they were able to do things that we can't do today. You got the earth, you got the minerals in earth that
But
we
the
can't even
stones have
explain.
energy. They have
The
life.
stones have energy, but they embed it because the stones have been carved. What did they
Crystals.
use to carve it? What did they use? Did they embed it? But they had to know to do that. Isn't that crazy?
The data is buried in the crystal system within the stones. The data is there. At the pyramids, below the pyramids, we find in Mexico they find caves, underground caves with crystals and all different types of powerful energies that are coming off of these structures.
They knew how to use the earth, but I think that's where I think that somehow. And I know that people say this all the time, and it's like so ancient alien sounding that the pyramids would like turn on during certain times. But I really do think that maybe it was more of a spiritual journey that happened during these times where they were very clear. And maybe that's
Why, Chris?
Why
Why is that
how
so
else
hard?
would they be still connected? Think
Chris,
about it.
why is it so difficult for people, to buy into those theories about the spiritual side and how we are connected to the cosmos, and the planet, all things that are living? Why is that so hard
We're
to
blocked.
consider?
We're blocked to focus on our
Oh,
immediate, immediate
the
survival.
the truth, the history was buried?
No, I think that I think consciously, I think everybody, I've been wondering if that's why some people just seem to be so connected to the phenomenon and be able to have so many experiences while others don't. I think we're going through our own journey. Maybe some of us are just more open than the others at the time, and maybe it's just opening slowly. I am seeing a trend where people are accepting things that they didn't used to. So there is hope in that. I mean, although it's boiling very, very slowly, so you can't really tell, that anything's cooking. I
I like that
I've
point
never
that you just said,
experienced
though.
anything. But which one?
That people are definitely opening their minds up to more ideas. It seems like that's taking place on a daily
I'm
basis more
seeing
and more.
it.
See, that's
I'm
why everybody
seeing it.
hates on Ancient Aliens. And I know that it's a Hollywood production and it's really flashy with its cheesy graphics and, the guys with the funny hair and voices. But at least they exposed on a mass scale and high definition, some places around the world that we would never see if it wasn't for the show Ancient Aliens, right?
It is a gateway. I mean, I gotta tell you, I like Ancient Aliens, but I
Same.
don't believe. I am not a fan of the ancient astronaut theory. I'm not gonna sign up for that. But I cannot deny ancient civilizations. Something was here. Whether
Notice
they
how
were
Chris said
aided
she's not
or,
Notice how Chris said she's not a fan of. She didn't say there's no way in hell it's not true. She's leaving
Yeah.
open the options, right? And that's
because
what
I don't know. We don't
Right.
know.
That's
I
right.
mean,
Right on.
until we're gone and we're riding that wave, that's when we get the answers. So for us to think that we can say that, no, it wasn't aliens, I don't know that. I wasn't there. All I do know is that I saw a little gray on the side of the dinosaur national monument that somebody drew a long freaking time ago. That I can tell you. That looked like a little freaking gray to me, or interpretation of a gray. So,
Whoa.
but at the same time, there's stuff. It's like you said. There's things that you find in Ancient Aliens that open rabbit holes, and then wherever you take that rabbit hole, that's up to you. You need
almost
to do
like they
your own
wanted to-
research. You
it's
need to
almost
do
like-
your own findings. You know,
It's almost like they just wanted to throw everything but the kitchen sink out there and let those minds open and expand. And it's like,
and I think
people
they're
make-
successful at it. We're talking
Right.
about it.
Yep. I love
There's
it.
there's stuff that I wouldn't have found so easily on, just doing research on the web. Well, all of a sudden I'll be like, ooh, what's that structure that's on this new Ancient Aliens? Ooh, where's that? And then I'll start digging into it. But I don't take their interpretation as gospel. I just see it as, wow, this is a really cool thing. Let's go, what are people saying about it? What has been studied?
Well, there is a
Make
part of
those
history that you must admire and appreciate so much that you actually created your name around it. So would you want to give us a little bit of knowledge about the Akashic Records and how you got the name AkashiCris?
Yes. Akasha, it was funny because number one, I had the whole Mars attacks and everybody was calling me Akakak, but that wasn't why, because Akakak's not me. But I am, the idea we have seen throughout history, people coming up with some, same ideas, same time, same concepts, the Akashic Record is about having, it's a different view on the same thing. We're all connected, right? I think of Akashic Records as, powered by the quantum realm, where it's like we're all connected. So if we're all entangled and all information ever has been, is, or will be is stored there, because if you experience it, it's there. It's very much like cloud computing, but it's like powered by a, quantum, the quantum realm and the consciousness factor.
Yes.
So to me, it's just another extension of the same thing that we're talking about. If we're connected, that means that some of us, and maybe it's a methodology to get there, which is what I seek, is being able to ask questions about, what should I be doing? What is my path? Help me see the signs. That's what I usually ask when I go into meditation and talk to Akashic Records. It's like you talk to a guide, you try, and I'm trying. I'm just very meditation challenged, Spooky. I need the Spooky school of meditating properly. I am.
I'm telling you, we need
super
to get it started, Spooky. It'd be profitable. I'm telling you.
Spooky University. Get in touch with the consciousness.
Spooky you. Hey, that's a cool.
Spooky
I like
you.
that.
Don't you like it?
Maybe
I'm in marketing. Can you tell?
Yeah. Unfortunately, the best part of the Carl Vibe episode, I wish everybody could have been with us backstage. My favorite part was after the show.
That
we got a
was
little
What
bit.
happened?
We got a little bit deeper, man. We were throwing it out there and just saying, "What do you really think?" And it was totally awesome because, you didn't. We just took the gloves off, and if people would just give the idea a chance, and take some time for yourself. Get off the internet, get off the TV, and just actually spend some time with yourself and learn, your mind. You'd be really surprised, man. I'm telling you what shows up. Even Chris, one of the people I wanted to bring up today was Travis Taylor, and how the information the information we learned about him, not too long ago, about a month ago, that came out about him being the government's UFO dude. And that surprised all of us because we thought of him only as an ancient alien scientist, and he was out there shooting rockets up in the air. And but lately, in his most recent interviews, I don't know how up to it you are, but I've been hearing him talk a lot more about stuff like quantum entanglement and about how this is a spiritual situation that we're dealing with these phenomena that they're seeing in places like Skinwalker Ranch. So. I know you have your opinions and have always been a big fan of his. What are you feeling right now about what he's saying?
I'm not surprised that he's going down this path, because even though at the beginning, so I've watched Skinwalker since before I was, okay. True confessions. So I've watched many documentaries, but I gotta tell you, I was kind of hooked on Skinwalker. And then Brian Arnold Dragon went on UFO Jane. So I went and started watching UFO Jane, and that's how I kind of got into the YouTube world. And I told Dragon this when I met him in Vernal. But the fact that we are sitting there talking to this guy who's studying the presentation was confusing because it talked about cases that had nothing to do with Skinwalker. It all makes sense now. And this guy, I've been watching him from the beginning, and he was a skeptic. Even Thomas Winterton was making fun of him for, outside when we were talking. He was like telling a story about how Travis went in, and he's like, so what's your experience? What's your resume? And, Brian Arnold's like, well, shit, or Thomas Winterton was like, I barely made it out of school. So he came in, you've seen a lot of Travis in other places besides Skinwalker. He has so many different degrees. He's all into, Tesla coils and rockets. And my personal opinion before this announcement went out is I did have thoughts in my head. And it's like, it'd be nice if they actually had somebody that knew what the hell he was doing in the UAPTF. Honestly, I did. I hate to say it, but it was like he seems to actually have. It's not. Maybe it's naive, but to me, based on his experience and the way he explains things, he was studying Aguadilla 2013, and I was like, why is he studying Aguadilla 2013? It has nothing to do with Skinwalker. So they are doing all kinds of other studies. I understand he had an NDA. If you were offered today, Spooky, opportunity to be part of UAPTF, but you just couldn't tell anybody about it, would you?
Oh, absolutely. That's why I think like when I see Carl getting offered to work with Skinwalker, they are obviously, they know what's up, okay? They know this is spiritual, and they know that that's where they're onto something. And I think they're trying to bring in people that are going to be able to help them tap into that.
Well, the funny part, the astrophysicist in him is going down the wormhole, right? So quantum physics, quantum entanglement, he used to be like totally into the wormhole, theory of what's really happening over at Skinwalker. But I think that he's starting to realize it might be bigger than that. It might not be just a physical wormhole. It might be a more consciousness-based world that we just can't wrap our heads around. Most people can't.
Now we've heard two of the top government UFO people talking about it, right? Lou has hinted on it, more than hinted, Lou Elizondo. Now Travis is hinting on it. And it just seems to me that they're getting more and more comfortable, spitting it out there and letting us know, hey, it's up to us if we want to listen to it and look into it.
And you don't go from 0 to 60, right? So you're going to start mentioning it very slowly. You're going to, try to organically move the people over to.
It's almost like a drip disclosure, which is what people hinted at 2 or 3 years ago, right?
And it's still happening. I think it is. I think I'm seeing it changing. They're very slow, and people are like, that's not enough. Well, I get it, but I think that they do have to spoon feed to mainstream disinformation. I think that spoon feeding is really what's happening. It's so subtle that they don't. My husband went to get gas the other day, and there was the stuff about the hearings was playing on at the gas station. That was huge news for us, not necessarily for a lot of other people, but made that news. It's like you got to take it. You got to see the little steps and see where they take you.
It just cracks me up how young we are as a civilization. In the grand scheme of what we call time, it's crazy to look at just the short amount of time that we've even been doing this type of research and sharing it with each other. And, it's very, very, very short. Somebody put it, I don't know who it was, I wish I could give them credit, but somebody put it in the context where, like, if you took the whole human civilization, how long we've been on this planet, and put it into a book, just the part that we can remember that we're talking about, and just like from let's just say the start of this country, maybe it would just be like the very last sentence of the last page of this ginormous book. So to think that the government would have all the answers that we're looking for, I think that's kind of ignorant to think that we should be looking to a government for the answers, when really we should just do what we're doing here, talk to each other and share this information with each other, because I feel like that's the disclosure, not what the government knows, because I just don't feel like they know.
That's good.
a
Awesome.
sliver.
I think you're right on. I think you're right on, because we're not the target audience of that drip disclosure either. We're the ones that have been talking about it. I mean, I
Yeah.
haven't been around that long, but you guys have. You
Right.
guys have experiences. And, you know, most of the people that are on these shows have all kinds of experiences, and they're beyond. It's like that's more like the ufology 101, and we're a little bit beyond that. You know, we're talking about things. We're not talking about spaceships. We're talking about ultra dimensional beings and quantum entanglement. That's not something that the casual person talks about at lunch.
Right.
We have
You know,
We had a question from Drew. I want to make sure we got to it, from Living History's Mysteries. He said, if people are just now starting to reopen their minds, why were their minds closed off between the high points of the Egyptian culture and today? Did we become advanced than less?
less. You mean, did we become less advanced? Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna say yeah because I don't have all the answers. But to me, there's something they knew how to do that we don't.
Mm-hmm.
Look at all their
Definitely.
structures. It makes no sense. We were building a cabin in Oklahoma, and we're talking about a tractor to move a boulder. Less, a 1,000-pound boulder in Baalbek, or
Right.
100-ton H's that are exactly the same in Pumapunku, up a hill with, where the quarry is so far away. It makes no sense. Like right there, that's Bolivia, right? So look at those H's, and this doesn't even do it justice, but look at the detail. I mean, those are like perfect 90-degree angles on those H's.
Yeah.
They look manufactured, and they look to have been, toppled like Legos at some point. And I'm sorry, nobody can explain how the hell this happened. Look at the preciseness of, you see the two holes in that rock in the right? That
Yeah.
actually, like, it goes through, and then there's a wall full of different mass. I don't even bother to put the alien one, but there is an alien one, but that's, either here or there. And look at those statues. Those are in Tiwanaku, and those statues look very similar to statues. Let's go. Do we want to take a little road trip?
Yeah, I love this.
Okay, hold on. So this is Bolivia, right? So you got those H's are just masterful. And remember, H's. This is where you'll see where my rabbit hole started. H's.
Bunch of History Channel logos.
Hell yeah. There we go. I'm trying to find
My favorite is
the
the rock
Vulture
throughout.
Stone. There we go. Look at this. I wish I could zoom it in. You see right here at the top of the Vulture Stone? There's H's. I know people say they're I's. I used to be a specker. I had to identify fonts, and somehow the H's here, and I'll show you another symbology of that H here in a minute. They're on top right underneath the right purse of the Vulture Stone. There's like 3 H's stacked up there. Do you see them?
Let me try to bring up. I got a different picture.
Try to zoom into the top right. Yeah, zoom into that. Look to the left, to the right. You see the little H's? They look like eyes.
How come I can't?
Okay, if you got it right there, right where your cursor was. That looks like an eye. Right to the right of that. Keep going.
Oh, right
there.
here, yeah.
Yes.
And then another one here.
Interesting that what that aligns to in the whole map of how he had figured out the constellation alignment was, he explains that, he being Martin Sweatman, explains that as distant stars. Now, distant stars, which I asked, it was like, oh, so are they binary stars? Because that looks like a binary star alignment. If you're talking about stars, he goes, well, there's no way it could be binary because they didn't have telescopes, so they wouldn't know. And I'm like, that's where I start to question. Are we just at that point closing the door? Like, these are the limitations. But when you add everything that we've learned, maybe there was a way they could see it. I personally think that that's actually something else, and I'll show you what. If you want, do you want to see what I think it is?
Yeah, of
You want to
course.
see? You want to see? You want to share that? I'm trying to share this.
Oh, I'm
Can
sorry.
I?
I have to
Oh,
keep
it's
remembering to
okay.
bring that one up.
No, go back to. There's another slide that I popped up. That's an empty slide right next to it. Different
Right here.
presentation. That one. Go. Okay.
Oh, cool. Another
You
presentation.
see this? This is pillar 18. This is the belt. Look at the hands. Reminds you of the hands that we saw earlier in Tiwanaku. They all have that same alignment where they're holding at belly, and all the structures have like all these like the fingers are angled very interestingly. But when I saw the belt, and here's all the H's, right? So this is a
Mhm.
totally different stone. This is pillar 18. It's supposed to be like a soldier, and that soldier has a belt. That belt has the H's, and then you have that H on the side with the two little things around it. And the time I saw it, I bump into these pictures, the first pictures of quantum entanglement, and I'm sitting there going, you guys, is it possible that the purses are knowledge that they knew that there's a realm out there that is like a two-dimensional world, with three dimensions inside.
Mhm.
And in the front of the belt, you got three H's on one side and two in another. This shit's so specific, and it's on multiple pillars. Is it possible that they freaking knew?
Mm.
That they knew that there's a quantum realm, that they knew it was consciousness driven, that they knew that that's how we can connect, and that we don't. That was my rabbit hole, my original rabbit hole.
Oh, I can see why. Yeah, that's
'Cause what if they knew? I
that's the
mean,
thing, and we don't. That's the thing that we've
we don't
lost,
know.
unfortunately, is we just don't know.
We
This
don't.
picture, I want to bring this picture up real quick because this shows just one more
Oh,
proof
that
that
guy. Mm.
I was looking for one where there's a person standing in there to give a little bit of, scale. But
Mm.
I mean,
And these are all over the place. This is not just in one location. You see these like melted like a big puzzle that just came together, and
mhm.
the rocks, the stones are fused. It's like they're somehow fused, and that's where you were talking, Spooky, about like frequencies and stuff. Is it possible that they had a way to manipulate this material in ways that we can't? Because those are, I don't know how many tons that one is, but those H's were, I think, 100 tons. The H's from Pumapunku, and this looks a
Mhm.
lot bigger. I'm pretty sure those are
Oh
a lot
yeah,
bigger.
it's
I mean, Baalbek, there's like 1,000-ton structure underneath that they built stuff on top of. That's where it's like we're moving in. We've moved into a world that was already here, but we don't know what we moved into because we just packed it up with all our shit. Because in
Buried it.
Baalbek, yeah, we buried it. We freaking buried it. You can go out of that. I just wanted
oh
to show
okay.
you that one picture because that belt, those signs are in different places. And then there is one. Go back to the other presentation. I'm going to show you the Easter Island connection. So
The other
yeah,
thing too is like you wouldn't do these things if they were hard to do. These things must have been easy for them to do because I mean, just to build a wall like that, you'd think that you would just use a natural wall, like a natural rock face or something if you needed it. But to build something
yeah.
like this out of these rocks, it's like,
A lot of the stuff. Look at this. Look at Easter Island. I mean, there's hundreds, I think, of these in that island,
hmm,
and they are humongous. And by the way, that structure is only halfway down. You can actually see there's another half of it underneath the ground, which is where I think this one's timed wrong also. And look at this.
oh
Look at the
wow,
placement of the way that they're standing. It reminds you of Göbekli Tepe and Tiwanaku. And this is Easter Islands. Tiwanaku is all the way the hell over Bolivia and Peru.
right?
And over here, if you see this little duck thing, it's like I want to study. I just found this one because I remember Carl telling me, look at the back of the Easter Islands heads. There's actually a symbology there that reminds him of Göbekli freaking Tepe.
Yeah.
So it's like somehow, how the hell is it possible that we're talking all over the freaking world? Easter Islands all the way over here. Turkey is all the way over there. Peru is in the middle. We got shit in Mexico. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like it makes no sense.
Makes
And
no
I
sense
think,
to us yet, that's for sure.
You know what it is? It's very humbling.
yeah, it that like the web. I got to say something about the web images because I thought it was really cool that one of my friends, my mainstream friends, like things like this are humbling to me. To her, when she saw those pictures, she was online. She was like, "Oh my god, that big world. There's no way we're alone." I'm like, "Thank God, finally!" It's like something was humbling enough that people are like, "Yeah, that seems like there's no way we're alone." And this is somebody that doesn't talk UFOs. So I think if we look at these structures with an open mind and look at the beauty of what they've created, man. I mean, I didn't. This is a work in progress, so I have my Giza ones coming. But I mean, look at the Mexico. Look at these beautiful structures. Look at the purse right there in the Olmec civilization. Same freaking purse shape as Göbekli Tepe's vulture stone.
And same thing, those carvings are carved in relief. I think that's what it's called,
Yeah.
relief.
Here's another one in Sacsayhuaman. I can never say that one. But there's
good.
another one of those rocks that are fused. And I think the
Mhm.
one you were looking at was not necessarily Mexico because I've seen them abroad as well.
It's just so
How do you
amazing.
do this, you
Who
know?
knows?
And these beautiful rocks that align, they're like like construction blocks, like Legos that all come together. It's just so amazing and so many different. Okay, so look at this spooky chat. So the
Mhm.
belt, like I can't remember who was talking about this awesome belt. And hold on, I want to just thinking about. No, I'm trying to link it back to this. I'm telling you, there's something in these structures that's going to map to Göbekli Tepe. The fact that not a lot of people even look into this cracks me up because to me, these are things that we can really. I mean, they're not that nothing else is real, but you can't say these aren't real.
And this is the Göbekli
You
Tepe
know,
is the latest artifacts that we know of, right? Or the oldest that we know of.
that we know of, but by the way, there's like a ton of other tepes that are coming up with like you got Karahan Tepe, you got Tasley Tepe, Sever Tepe, Hamson Tepe. So and those haven't been even dug out yet. So think about it. This is
Ooh.
10% of Göbekli Tepe.
Right.
10%. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 6 tepes that I still need to go through. So I'm like torn between so many tepes. Those, what else? What other story are they going to tell us?
That's your
It's
new
just
merch.
mind blowing, right?
That's your
So
new
many
merch
tepes.
right there.
I always say I'm torn between 2 tepes. Now I'm torn between too many tepes.
Torn between tepes.
Tepes.
Mindforked.
So mind forked.
Hey Chris, didn't they
So
also find on those areas there giant tracks or big indentations in the ground to where they were theorizing that there might be some sort of way that they had this track system to move some stone? Am I thinking of that right?
on
You,
on the on the
on
in
the
Turkey.
yes,
I'm gonna have to look into that one. I can't
I
remember
feel
that
like
one
I remember seeing
specifically,
that. Mm-hmm.
but I remember them finding at the top, which this was kind of surprising to me, that they have holes to like gather water. I need to get my charger real quick. They have holes to like it looks like they gathers water at the top. I mean, these were advanced civilizations, and we're talking about 12,000 years ago, which was supposed to be hunter gatherers. How?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me how. I'm gonna go get my charger. Talk about how. I'll be right back.
No
And yes,
problem.
I'm in an apartment.
So am I. Yeah, guys, her channel is called Mindforked. If you guys are enjoying this conversation and you'd like to learn more, please go check out AkashiCris's new channel that she's got on YouTube. It's Mindforked, Mindforked, just like a fork.
Exclamation.
Exclamation. Oh, but I'm really the
Exclamation.
only mind forked one. I picked a good one because nobody else seems to be using it. So, but I did put the exclamation on it because
And-
it's really mind forked because you don't know what you're going to see. Like this weekend, I'm going to go visit So I've been going to tuber chat and I met a couple of channels that are like totally unrelated to UFOs. And I found this channel called Rich Cat Ranch. And we've been talking, and I'm going to go to Rich Cat Ranch. She has ducks because you know how I'm moving to the country? Her ducks are called Mulder and Scully. I'm like, and she's like loving UFOs now. And she's like loving my channel and like hanging out with us. And I'm going to go to her ranch, and I was going to talk to her about doing like a surprise live where we see the ranch, like a crossover episode between two totally different genres. You know,
And what was her channel called again?
Rich Cat, RICHKAT Ranch. She's
Rich
really
Cat
cool.
Ranch.
She did like a giveaway. She does state sales and stuff, and she did like a live giveaway the other day for her friends. It was really cool. So I'm gonna go check that out. And again, I have the night at the UFOseum, which I'm going to bring out my latest episode with Andrew Pierce. So I try to keep in mind keep it different. You don't know what you're going to talk about. Ancients, AI.
I put her link in the
Paul Hynek.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Looks
yeah,
like
Rich Cat's so cool. She's so awesome. So yeah.
Cool,
I'm going to try to learn about farming by going to the ranch this week.
Oh, sweet! I like that you're digging into other ideas like that, but also that they have. I mean, that's got to be a sign right there that they have those names.
I know that her ducks. I looked at her video and she's like, "Here's my duckling. They're not ducks, they're geese. My geese, Mulder and Scully." And I'm like,
Mulder and Scully.
Holy shit! It's like, and we're spirit sisters. She's like, come over. She's like 35 miles away.
Well, make sure when you go over there, you got to pick one of the animals out and name it Spooky.
Oh my God. I'm going to have to pick. I'm totally going to ask her if we can pick some new ducks or new geese if she has any, and we'll name them for our YouTube friends.
Yeah, everybody in the community. Here's Jamie.
And guess who I'm having next week? Next weekend, I have Cassie.
Really?
On Mindforked. Yes,
awesome.
A one-on-one with Cassie. It's going to be 2 oracles and beyond.
She's right there.
And she is here. I just saw her. So she's going to be on. And then later in August, I think it's a couple of weeks later, I have Connor. And we're going to talk Bigfoot. He's going to school me.
Awesome.
Bigfoot and is going to school me on Bigfoot. It's going to be so awesome.
There won't be a dead air moment in sight in that interview.
Because we're both, I know that he's high energy and I'm high energy, and we might implode.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
This will be great.
You know, when you're watching those YouTube live streams and the stream gets all screwed up and everybody's energy is going into the stream, that's what's going to happen. You guys are going to have energy exploding YouTube servers.
I love it. I can't wait. He's like, he was telling me what he's going to talk about. I was like, okay, that sounds cool. I don't know, but awesome. So,
hey, what's up, Eric?
Yeah. Anyway, so thank you for having me. I don't know if it's over. I don't know what you guys want to do. I don't know. I'm just kind of going with the flow. Thanks
for having me, she says.
She's like, peace.
She's like, I'm getting the hell out of here.
Costanza. I'm just kidding. I took the morning off.
Drop the mic.
Aw.
Yeah, you took the morning off.
I was just joking. I don't know. Yeah, I took the morning off because I wanted to hang out with you guys.
Oh,
I mean, Chris,
we're just
students. We're just learning here. I mean, a lot of us haven't taken the time to research some of these things that we're talking about today, and you know, we're just so blessed that you decided to come and join us and share some of these theories on what we're looking at. And Chad, I don't know if you want to bring up maybe some of the latest stuff that we're seeing coming out of the petroglyphs, and it can kind of open up some minds and some
Let's talk about it. I got to tell you that when you see them in person, it just kind of makes you feel better. I was already obsessed with all this, but when I saw it in person, it's like, wow, this is not a picture on the internet.
I mean, when I look at it, I just think I'm amazed at how this is basically in our backyards. This is our country, you know, this is where we live, and all these ancient writings and stories that are written, they're right here on our land. So, I mean, it kind of makes sense to look at it. And
I know that one's a trip. I love that one. There's a 40-footer like this. You do know that, right?
What?
Have you seen that one? There's one at, and I was so mad. Me and Lynn were so upset because we wanted to go, but we couldn't take the rental over there. but there is an area you have to hike a lot. But in Dinosaur Park, that's like a 40-foot version that looks just like that guy right there, with the spirals and
Mm-hmm.
trip. And
The, sp-
I wanted to see it in person. Yeah,
the
that's not
spiral
the
is
one.
really what gets me.
Well, that's where he gets
'Cause-
the readings off of. That's where he actually gets most of his RF readings to come back positive. It's on those portals, the little
Whoa.
vortexes. And I don't know if you have in the latest video, the one that you said was really sharp. Did you watch that one, Spooky? That has the one with the vortex that I told you, that one right there, that guy. Look at that. He explained this. So you got that portal, but then there's another portal, and look at the people and the animal falling out of it. It's almost like they went in one way and out the other. You see? So you got
Oh,
the guy in the middle, right?
Mhm.
And that's the vortex that I'm freaking out about, under the one that has all the little dots, because you don't see that very often. That one, the one underneath, you got the little ant person, you got that swirl that looks like a galaxy, and then you got the portal on top, but then you got on the other side like a mini portal, and people are upside down.
This almost feels like a story. Like this is a shaman type person who is like giving you the ability to travel, and then this is you going through this story, and now you're tripping on whatever's going on, and now you're upside down, and you're going through this whole story.
So that they go in one way and out the other.
Mm-hmm.
Because he has several that are really interesting, because you've got like a circle at the bottom, and you've got like a person, like one of those guys with the horns, but one leg will be out and the other one will be cut off. Like one leg is inside a circle and the other leg is outside. So, I mean, there's something to this. I think these stories are there for a reason. Somebody said on Twitter, it looks like a portrait, like a family portrait sometimes, some of the stuff they see. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, yeah, Enzo said that they had to carve out all the dots individually. This takes time, which means it must be important. Right. I keep thinking that too. Like this stuff is not easy to do. So it had to have been important.
And that one, especially, that vortex is freaking me out, because I hadn't seen one like that.
Chris, when you guys were at the Vernal Symposium, did you guys get to meet James right there, James Keenan?
No, I didn't meet him in person. Did I meet him? I think I met him in passing, but I didn't get to really talk to him.
Yeah, he's absolutely brilliant. He's working with Carl.
Yeah, I got to talk to Carl. Poor Carl got stuck with me for like half an hour, 45 minutes. But he was happy to. He was like, we were talking and making drawings and looking at studying symbology. But look at that. It's upside down.
Yeah, it's definitely upside down. The upside down.
The detail.
Oh, the upside down? Right here.
Yeah. And I think he mentioned that the patina was the same. So it's not like those dots come from a different age, you know? Like they weren't added later.
Good observation.
Like all of the patina matches, so they should be about the same time.
Earlier, somebody in the chat said something about easy answer. This is ancient civilizations. I don't know, man. It don't seem that easy to me. This is not an easy answer.
No, I don't know how you can.
This is about as complex as you can get.
It's complex because who were they? How does this overlap with what we believe to be true about our own history? You know, it challenges all the concepts that we're taught, you know, all the time. Almost every single thing would have to be rethought if we're so much
That's what happens when history and data gets buried.
Like
because people want to close a case, right?
That's right.
Close a case.
What were these people seeing when they when they drew this out and they made these antenna type things on their heads? Like what were they seeing when they decided to draw this? And why is one very opaque and like solid, and then the other one is more of like a line image? You know, there's different types.
Yeah. And there's some that have like bars across the chest, almost like a shield, like sticks put together. But Yeah, there's this. I mean, the Hopis had stuff like that, but these are the Fremonts. That's where I keep talking. It's like these people are in different parts. Where were the Hopis? Where were the Hopis, guys? Chatters.
Oh, geez.
The Hopis are in South America, aren't they? Well, these guys. I mean, these look like what the Hopis used to draw. It's. I mean, I don't think it's a coincidence. Ah, there's one of those guys coming out of the circle. You see the bottom of that big guy with, I don't know what that is. He almost looks like showman from the circus, but yeah, there's a cow, so you'll see things and make sense.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but look at the circle in the bottom. It's like, is he coming out of something?
Oh, this?
It looks like yes. That's what. This is not the first one I've seen like that, where where it's like the body's coming out of a circle. There's one that has one leg out and one leg in, and that leads me to believe that that circle is supposed to indicate some kind of two-sided structure,
Right.
coming out of one place and into another. That's not normal in the rocks.
It just blows my mind to think that there were people sitting here in the same places that these people are, that Carl is standing in, and somebody was actually carving this stuff out. I mean, it's crazy to think that somebody was actually standing that. I look at it that way, where somebody was standing in the same place that these people are standing thousands of years ago, or however many years ago.
One thing that is not obvious in this either is because the height and the placement of the rocks, this was not easy carving either. A lot of these murals, like I said, the one that's 40 something feet, somebody had to hang there and figure out how to carve all this. It's like, unless they were very large, which is where he has found the tracks of the giants. I think there's something to it. Hugh Newman's book is fantastic on that. He's written a lot in the giants, both in South America and in the UK.
Oh no, that one's interesting.
Yeah, look at that.
This almost looks.
I wonder if he tracked it. Yeah. Oh, that other.
Do you think this could have been an H at one point? Maybe. It looks kind of like an H.
Well, it almost looks like a robe. Like, I think, did they talk about this one potentially looking more like Egyptian, like the Egyptian headgear?
Chad, bring up a picture of the Kachinas.
Yeah.
The Kachinas.
Yeah, Kachinas.
What is that?
Yes. Bring it. Bring it, Spookies.
Bring it.
Bring it.
And
well, she asked about the Hopi.
Yes. Show me, because the Hopi do something very, very similar. It looks like land people. And that's exactly what we saw right next to the little gray at the dinosaur park. And similar to the ones that you were just showing, they all have like the antennas, and they all have a really blocky body.
I'm not finding. Okay, this might be kind of.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those wouldn't be antennas, but they'd be like some type of. I mean, if you do believe that they knew where consciousness came from, then
why are Kachinas important
like a
to
tuning?
Yeah, like tuning antennas.
I don't know, Spooky. I don't know that much. You tell me. Why are the Kachinas important to the Hopi?
The Kachinas were viewed as powerful beings who inspired only respect and honor. And if they were given that respect, they can use their powers for human good to bring things like rainfall, healing, protection, fertility.
That's cool. Those are beautiful. But it's like all the stories kind of match. You got all the flood stories that match. I mean, different versions, different interpretations, but it seems to all follow the same. Some of the basic things all seem to be the same across the board. And I'm sorry, I keep the stuff that that little creature in the petroglyph just reeked of little gray to me. And the one that I saw, because it had the Hopi, like the ant people next to it, that was like something else. But It's like that one looked like. Can you pull up? Let me see. Hold on. Espérate. Sarah 7. That means. Hold on. Oh, he knows because
I can bring that presentation back up too.
No, I don't have that one. That particular. That's one of the new guys.
Chad, I'll be right back.
Okay.
I'm gonna pull up the picture. It's a picture that Lynn and I took when I was out when we were in Vernal.
Oh, okay.
The one, and I posted it, but it was on Twitter, and who knows where it's at now.
Oh, chat's been going crazy since I looked at it last. We got unidentified.
Yeah, you
How's it
talked
going,
to Anthony.
Helen Crystal Energy, great to see you. It's all about consciousness.
It's all about. Ah, there it is. Well, let's see. Maybe this looks like a Kachina. Let's look at that. Let me. Where's my shit? Too slow. There it is. Hold on. Let me say that.
For anybody just joining us in the chat, please make sure to go check out AkashiCris's channel, Mindforked. I put the link in the description below.
Yeah. That's really nice. Thank you.
Oh, no problem.
Okay, let me see. I'm going to take this one off.
Okay.
And I'm going to add a new one. Let me see if I can do that. Oh, little gray, where are you? Little gray. Okay, hold on. Oh, because it's an AEIC file. Hold on.
Yeah, StreamYard only.
Yeah. Yes, it's a pain. I forgot. It is.
They only accept certain formats, unfortunately.
Obviously.
I can take this one out.
It's uploading. Yeah. It's uploading. It's just a picture. I can't believe that takes longer than uploading the actual entire PowerPoint deck.
Good morning, Papa Willie. Good to see you in the Facebook chat.
Okay. Hi, chat. Hi, Fab, Eric. And so that's so nice. Everybody came. I don't know why this image is taking so long, Wally. I can't believe I popped over and they were still on Cassie's channel.
Oh my God, I know.
They were still on this morning. Cassie passed out.
Yep.
Simon was there. Wally's Corner. Andy Gambino dropped
I'm like,
by.
oh, Cassie's live. This is really early for her to be live. I can't believe she's awake. And then it said started streaming 9 hours ago. I'm like, oh my God.
I don't know how it happened that they stayed out. Yeah, Cassie's like got the big eyes. Yes, honey, you were on all night, just in case. The color paint behind me, I cannot be credited with, Anthony, because I'm at an apartment and it's just really dark. Soon I'll be at the house and I'm going to have a studio.
Ooh, I can't wait to see that.
I'm going to put my stuff back together. Cardman's coming back up. I still have my picture of Travis Taylor with hearts. Yeah, I did that. See that guy?
Oh, yeah. Totally.
That guy was freaking right the hell there. Next to the picture similar to what you guys were showing a minute ago from the latest videos of Carl with the Hopi looking, hey Joshua, with the Hopi looking creatures. And somebody said something really interesting on Twitter. They were like, it's like a family portrait. And it was really interesting because it's got different types of creatures, and then there's goats and frogs and normal things.
Right.
And then there's portals.
Some of these are almost like I was thinking a storyline where it's almost like they're trying to tell you a story instead of just showing you.
And that was not small. That was probably about half body size. I'm trying to remember because it was like up on we couldn't hike. Otherwise we would have gotten some really good stuff. But the fact that this is right on the freaking entrance of Dinosaur National Park.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's like, which of these kids doesn't belong here? That's a little gray, man.
Mm-hmm.
But it's got little antennas, so it's like I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
It's interesting.
We just don't know.
I think the signs are all around us. We just have to learn how to read them. They're trying
Anthony
to tell
says
us
there's no
something.
denying that that's an ET. Or that's an
not
alien. Yeah, it looks
Yeah,
like one.
I mean, that's a little. I call him little gray, even though he was little beige.
Yep, just a
He's
little
a
gray.
dirt. So what's next, guys? What happens
I don't know,
now?
AkashiCris.
Now that we're all mind-forked?
We've been
Now that you're all
mindforked.
I don't know which topic you want to go to next because we got the whole AI. AI. How dangerous is it? There's so many different topics you could go down.
I gotta ask you something a little off topic. Do you know anything about this cartoon that me and Spooky been in recently?
Oh my god! Oh my god! Poor Spooky.
What'd you think of that?
It was like they killed Kitty, you bastards. That's what I thought of in the spooky last scene. I'll get you
when
in
he's laying
another
on the
life.
ground.
I'll get you in the next life. I love you guys' delivery of those lines. Spooky. Ooh, it will be there. It's like you were all into it, man. It was so awesome.
For anybody that
play
didn't
it? Are
watch
we
it,
allowed to
yeah,
play it?
yeah, we're gonna play it here in a
Play
second.
it. And Andy, I asked Andy if his character already had a backstory of being a snobby alien, or he added that like improv. But I think it was
Being a
it's
snobby.
a little both. He was a snobby little alien, man. Andy Gambino. He's like,
For sure.
love you, Andy. He knows I give him crap. I
All
gave
right.
him crap last night over this.
I'm gonna put the link in the chat right now, so
Can
everybody
somebody
make
say
sure that you
Rodney
watch it.
Posky for me?
Rodney
you guys-
Posky.
There we go. Rodney Posky. I love it when you guys say that. It cracks me
Here,
up.
I'll page him.
Rodney
Yeah.
Posky to the podcast, please. Rodney Posky to the Chad Smith
Yay!
podcast.
I'm so entertained.
All right, so I put the
Oh
link
my
in the chat right there, guys. So make sure you watch it on your own time. But I'm also gonna play it here on the morning show.
Yeah, and
So,
we can do a little review after.
yeah, we'll talk about the funniest parts. So
Yes.
take notes.
Yes.
Here we go. Let me see. I don't think I should share the audio. If you guys hear any echo, let me know.
I'm not hearing any.
No audio? Okay.
No.
No audio.
All right, so let me share the audio then. All right, now it should work.
After 1 hour probing those humans, it takes a lot out of me. So I need to take a shotgun deuce. Oh, damn, there's my bookie.
We've come to eat you for dinner. I'll eat a whole of you, monster. Wow! Smells like crap. It's better than slugs.
Now that we're done probing, let's explore the planet.
Actually kind of felt good. Hey, let's go find something for the show.
Maybe I can find a mate. Oh, hey, that's the ship we came in on. Look, it's flying towards us.
Hey, it's that ugly green alien. Hey, are you here to take us home?
Who you calling ugly? Hey, they stole my brother. I'll do anything to get them back.
Well, you need to come on our show then.
No problem. I'll do your show.
For my help, I want a girl like Patty over there.
Are you guys ready to go or what?
No way. I'm not risking my life for you guys after you tortured us.
Medusa got stoned. How ironic.
I've got special abilities. She was just going to slow us down anyway.
Hey, you think we could stop by Bluff Creek?
Nice new color, Barry.
You too, dude.
He's close, I can smell it.
Hey, who's this guy?
Excuse me, gentlemen. You haven't happened to see 3 men walking around hunting a dinosaur, have you?
Well, we'll help you find them, but then you're gonna have to help us.
Hey, do you know Patterson Giblin?
Yeah, I know the California boys.
Hey, guys, shut up. It's that unicorn again.
The unicorn horn. will grant your deepest desires.
What? Did you say dinosaur or dragon?
Supposedly a Tyrannosaurus Rex, but I think these guys were dropped on their heads as children.
Those are my type of people.
Here we are.
Sonny, have you found any dinosaurs yet?
Nope, not yet. Boys, this is their hunting ground.
Are you sure that dinosaurs still exist?
Yeah, we'll prove it.
Oh, we've been tracking them. We know they are related to the reptilian race.
Oh, good luck on your hunt over there.
Oh no! There is a dinosaur!
I can't take it.
So, should we help them or?
No, they're prepared. We need to save the alien instead.
Fair enough. Let's go save the alien.
Look at us running.
You're mine in the next life.
Do you want him well done?
Guys, use my blasters. They're fully charged.
Well, let's rock and roll then.
It's chow time!
Got him.
Yeah, man.
He's wide open, zap him. Yeah, buddy.
Hey, thanks, ladies, for saving my life. Have some of my stolen goods.
What's this?
Right. I'm the Viking ogre here to collect me bounty for the lavender alien.
Yes.
It's always a pleasure teaming up with you, helping pay off all the debts you owe across the galaxy.
Not again.
Classic. And welcome
I
to
love
the director of the
this.
show.
Eric, that was so awesome. I can't. That was good.
Yeah.
Now hold on a second. Now ask yourself this. Hold on. Oh, let me take the audio off on
I
this
was
side.
wondering where that was coming from.
Now, ask yourself this.
Okay. There we go.
First of all, you didn't see Chad anywhere. You didn't see him get killed by the dinosaur.
Nope, I'm not dead
He
yet.
wasn't in the last two
There was
parts.
somebody
Now,
with purple pants died.
That's
He was
Sonny.
wearing all
Sonny
purple.
went inside the dinosaur.
Oh, poor
But
Sonny.
did Spooky? He was on the ground bleeding, but is he dead?
He has one arm missing. One arm, only one arm. He could come back from this, but he
I'm not
did
convinced.
swear his I'm coming back in the next life. He's
No.
like all consciousness already.
Now I'm gonna be uploading behind the scenes for the members of the channel, but Spooky would tell you that there was some extra language that was said that had to cut out that might say something about Sonny in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Did Sonny go into
Yeah.
into the
This doesn't
realm?
look too good for Sonny. I'll be honest.
But Sonny was not wearing purple pants. Oh yeah, he was. He's wearing a green shirt, purple pants.
Poor Sonny.
It was poor Sonny. We need
But
an in
Sonny-
memoriam. In the eyes of
But
the
Sonny said something when he went
Sonny.
down the dinosaur.
miss you,
I had
Sonny.
to cut out that part what he was saying going down the dinosaur, but he said something that can maybe have him come back.
Oh, really?
I see the light, Carol Ann.
I had to make
I'm
some
guessing-
sacrifices.
I'm guessing
I
the
had to
line
cut
was
out some
something like.
verses.
I'm guessing the line was something like, "Oh, I remember I got my knife on me." Starts
Maybe
cutting himself out.
Spooky was there. That is
Or
going to be
maybe he gets
uploaded
transported.
today. But, yeah, you
I'm
never know.
excited.
Somebody in the chat was asking who were all the voices? Who in our community were the voices of that video?
Okay, you had Anthony
Lots of
as, of course, Barry the Bigfoot, Chad, Spooky, and Sonny. Of course, you have Connor, myself. Andy was the green alien. Roman Buckiston was the Medusa, and Mitchell Cole was the Indiana Jones type character. Which Mitchell Jones is actually a director of short films, and he might be acting in a pretty big movie coming up. So Mitchell Cole has his own channel himself that does short films.
Awesome. Yeah,
And
it's
then
cool to
Big
have him in
Willie.
there too.
Don't forget about Big Willie. Big Willie is
Yep.
the Viking ogre. And then you
Oh
have
my God, the beard was perfect.
Yeah, it
The
was.
and you have
beards, one and
Carrie
two.
and Jamie as the two monsters who kidnapped. Technically, the monsters was hired by Big Willie on purpose to kidnap Bob into it, and it's all going to lead up into the third one, which I am not going to tell anybody what's it about. But there's a reason why Big Willie showed up. He has a huge role in the third one.
Oh, sweet.
Oh.
Good. I'm glad we get to see more.
Big Willie has a huge role in the third one. So
Lucky.
he's going to
Aw.
be in it a lot more.
So what? Okay,
Nice.
now that I got you here, what is up with the unicorn? Because I do love. I was watching last night, and Connor's like, all the secrets.
Listen,
It's like
I can't. There is a true meaning of the unicorn, but I can't say what it is yet.
Perfect.
I can't say what it is.
But the unicorn's definitely there's probably a lot of little tidbits that Connor.
This is how I said it.
The unicorn.
Well, if anybody understands Marvel, in the Marvel comics, in the Avengers stuff, they have this group called the Watchers, where they're watching humans and they're watching what's going on. The unicorn, as right now, is technically a watcher, watching us, and there's going to be a reason why. Listen, these stories are made in a Future Mind episodes. These aren't just one-offs. There's a storyline.
You thought the whole story through.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
You're not pulling a Game of Thrones where at the end we're not sure what's going to happen because he never finished writing it. That's awesome.
No,
No
and
Game
I
of
had to
Thrones.
kill. And listen, no, you're right. Game of Thrones. I killed Medusa because I don't want anybody to think that anybody's character is safe. So Medusa had to die.
So it's like it's kind of like Walking Dead. It could happen at any point. You don't know when
Anybody
your
could
best
die
character.
at any time.
I like
But
the
when
way
me
you
and
think.
Connor
I'm
was
intrigued.
writing the script, I go, Connor, wouldn't it be funny instead of Medusa turning this person to stone, she gets turned into stone.
That's pretty clever.
And then
Who
Connor
was,
was like,
who was Medusa? Which one was Medusa? Jamie? Or
no.
Who did the voice of Medusa?
YouTube channel. Her name is Roman.
Biscotti.
Yes.
Roman Biscotti.
She had a short part.
She's like a card reader. She believes in the third eye. So
Well, that's cool, but you killed her off already, man.
had to. Somebody had to die. And what's funnier than having her die, becoming stone herself, not turning someone else into stone? And then Connor came up with that line that, it's kind of ironic. She gets stoned.
Yeah, she
Stoned
got
forever.
stoned. That was awesome. His
listen,
delivery is really good.
I was sitting there and I was like, Connor, wouldn't it be funny if I take the Chad Smith boys and put them out in the jungle instead of having them hunt for UFO, Bigfoot, aliens and stuff? What if we make them hunt a dinosaur? People be like, what? A dinosaur? It doesn't make sense, but it does make sense in the cartoon world.
Yep. That's the cool thing about the cartoon is you can do
built in.
anything.
I
man.
loved it. Yeah, you threw everything to the kitchen sink. Keep them coming. You got it. Poor Anthony went from brown squatch to blonde squatch. Just one portal trip.
Listen,
yeah.
Even that was thought out. I go, wouldn't it be funny if we come out of the wormhole and their colors change on them? But he looks like a Yeti now.
I know, but you said more abominable snowman than poor Sasquatch. So no, that was really, really cool. I know that's got to be so hard, man. That is a lot of work. That is so much work. I can't even imagine.
I told everybody last night there was a difference between doing the first one and the second one because the first one was only voiced by 4 people: myself, Anthony, my brother, and Connor. That was easy. Dude, you had over 10 people in this. And you don't understand to get everybody's voices to line up because remember, these lines, you only got like 3-4 seconds. So if you speak,
you don't have them together. Yeah.
it gets screwed. Listen, it took me all the way to Tuesday night. I actually took down the link because I'm like, I don't like it. It's not lining up perfectly. I retook it down and reworked it, and I go, Connor, I think I cracked the code. I had to cut this out. See, there's actually a scene also where when those three were running, they were screaming and yelling. I actually had Chad record himself yelling, but I'm like, you know what?
Yeah, if you could delete that, that'd be great.
I wouldn't. I want that.
Out.
Don't delete it. Don't delete
Well,
it.
I
Just
deleted the
clip it and
screen
send
and
it.
I bled into that. Hey, and I bled into saying that. Well, let's go find the alien instead. While he's saying that, then you saw the dinosaur running to kill them. So you got the idea like, oh shit, we're just gonna let them die, or did they die?
Yeah, you guys were like, oh, they'll be fine. Like, poor guys, and poor Spooky. You should have done red. What was that? Red Bud. Red. What was it? Yeah, Red Bud. The end of Citizen Kane.
Oh yeah.
Like, very dramatic.
Well, if you think about it, we crammed a lot into 4 minutes.
Oh yeah.
You
it's like boom, boom, boom.
And it is very difficult to do the voices with the cartoons when you're splicing it together and have a certain. Yeah, I can imagine that was so much work. So I want to make sure that people, help you with that, because that's a really cool project and everybody seems to love it.
Yes.
Yeah,
and now after a week, I could like splice them together just so people could watch like one straight through. And when each episode that comes out in the future, I could just start splicing them all together, so people can kind of like sing it like as one big cartoon. Because three will be coming, and if it goes well, it's not going to stop. If it goes well, I actually have in my mind a story in episode 4 that might, a little hint, might involve these two little guys.
What?
That's what I'm saying.
They back? Cool.
Does everybody really die?
That's cool.
See, I don't think
we didn't see Chad die. You already
Nobody
said
saw
Sonny.
Chad die, and you didn't hear Spooky last breath. He was still talking on the ground.
This is so morbid and sad, but you didn't hear him take his last breath. He just said,
in the
so
next life."
cold. I did put in chat. You should have had him say, it's so cold. It's so
It's so
cold.
cold.
It's so cold.
Somebody help me.
Everybody has to. Somebody hold me. Tell me a story. No, he did great.
Seriously,
Your
I
death
appreciate.
scene, or fake death
I do
scene.
appreciate people liking it because you never know how people are going to take it. It's like, are they going to think
How
it's
could you
stupid?
not like that? How could you not like that? That was so fun.
Well,
and
I did get a few dislikes on the channel. There's a few dislikes.
Oh well,
You know what
you
I
get
get?
dislikes.
You know what I get dislikes on? You want to know what's driving my percentage on my channel? One stupid little short that I said no cow mutilations, and I put myself as a cow. Well, that shit's showing up when people are looking for Skinwalker Ranch season 3. So when they look for it, they see my cow mutilation like cartoon, and they dislike it.
And this is what I also will say. One last thing. I'll get off my own soap opera. Each episode is going to be in another area, so it's not all going to be jungle. Each idea is going to have a different spot of a folklore story. On the water, desert. So each episode is going to be in a whole different area. So you're just not watching the story itself. You're also watching what area is Eric going to hit in this one. So there'll be a little difference of every one.
You're going to a little multiverse, aren't you? This is going to be fun. You're a little Marvel person.
I also have future thoughts.
I love Marvel.
Listen, future thoughts of origin stories of like, I actually want to have a Barry origin story of Barry growing up in the woods as Bigfoot all the way to the point where he goes out in the woods to see the car and gets in. I have ideas of origin stories for the characters.
That's so smart. Yeah, bring like growing up.
Like me meeting Connor for the first time, and we go out on a research. And I can even have an origin story of Chad, Spooky, and Sunny if I want to.
You have an origin story, like a story in your mind already made up I don't know how to say that.
Is it dark?
An origin
Is it
story. An origin story up to the point where like Barry, why is he walking out in the woods to the car? An origin story. Why did I go to the door, ring the doorbell of Connor? You know, why do you three guys think that you had to go out in the jungle to look for a dinosaur? What made you guys go out there? So there is ideas of origin stories, and then one day I could splice all that together as like one day maybe I could get a full 30-minute cartoon out of it. You know,
that would be really fun to kind of put it all together into a series. It's like a little mini series, but one big episode.
You know, it's if people like it, because they're not cheap to do. I'm just saying that. I'm not saying that for money wise, but they're not cheap to do.
No,
it costs money, and it's not easy to get everybody together. To do voices. So some people had to send it by, Chad actually recorded his and sent it to me. So some people sent it. Some people got on StreamYard. So when you do 10 people, it's a lot of work. Listen, you have a person from the UK, Michigan, New York, Florida, California. Of course, I'm in Seattle area. All over the world, it's hard to get everybody together too.
Yeah, I'm glad that you let me send mine in.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you would have to write a script. I mean, these are things that people don't think about. You would have to completely write the script all out, break up all the pieces, hand it to everybody, have them recorded, give them like a little bit of direction on the tone, of what to say, and then bring it all together and then matching it up with the voices and the mouths and the cartoons. That's like quite a task and a half.
But it is always better to get everybody together on a StreamYard, because then you can kind of understand. We feed off each other. We can change. When we're together, Spooky would tell you, when we're together, like, what if I add this? Go for it. That sounds even better. We could, me, Connor, write out the script, but we allow, like, Anthony, if he feels, hey, what if I change it to this part? We allow people to put in their flavor. So,
it's like a marketing sesh, right? You're sitting there and it's like, oh my God, if I said this, oh my God, if I said that, that's where the magic happens. I loved it. Chad, next time you got to make the group, man, since you obviously are coming back.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm glad to see that I wasn't killed off. I don't think anyone was really, the way that Eric's talking, I don't think anyone was really killed off.
Except Medusa, she's gone.
I thought that all three of you guys were dead. I thought you killed all three of them. I was like, wow.
You never saw Chad. You saw him running. Right. That was it. You only saw Sonny go down the throat.
Chad was like Richard Dreyfuss in Jaws. It's like he disappeared, and there for a while you thought he was dead, but then he pops up, and that's how Chad's gonna be. Because I thought all you guys were dead except for maybe Spooky hanging on with his one arm.
Yeah, Spooky's hanging on. He's like Spooky can be like a Darth Vader, right? About to die, somebody saves him and adds stuff to him to keep him alive. Hey, I could turn him into half robot too if I want to.
Oh my God, we're turning to you have a new story, Spooky. You're coming back kind of
new
evil.
Storyline.
You've been damaged by life and rebuilt back together by dark forces.
He could be the new Darth Vader.
Exactly.
Could be the new Darth Vader. There's so many possibilities. But the third one's already storied out. I've already got the story on that one.
I can't wait to see this.
Yeah, I can't wait either, man. This is a great idea.
When is your next drop, you think?
Well, it takes about, once I got the storyboard up and the guy who I work with creates it takes him about 2 weeks. Then once he gets it to me, and then I try to get everybody together and put it together. So like the first one to the second one, it took about maybe 2.5, 3 weeks.
That's not bad. Still a lot of work, but not bad. We can't.
It is more work. I don't think people realize how much work it is, even on a 3-minute, 4-minute cartoon. And when everybody goes, "Hey, you should go 5 minutes," yeah, but when you go 5 minutes, first of all, the money goes up because you got to create a whole minute of scenes, and and I also told people, when you create a character and try to look like the original character, you pay more money than just putting a monster in there. So technically, Chad, Spooky, and Sunny cost me probably like the most money because I have them draw their likes to get it close to what they look like.
They did look exactly like them. Very good job.
Yeah, those were
But
awesome.
I had to. I couldn't have them look like monsters. I go, Sunny, Spooky, and Chad has to look like them somewhat.
Mm-hmm.
It was
and they
perfect.
did. Made me laugh, man. Can't wait for the next ones.
Yeah, I woke up last night. I'd fallen asleep and I woke up. I was like, oh man, the premiere. I logged in. It's like, did I miss it? Logged in at the last minute, but I caught it and it was fantastic. So
And just so
congratulations.
people know, like, well, how do you pick the people who are going to voice it? It sounds weird. I actually sell the voices if somebody wants to be in it. So Roman, she donated to the channel to be able to get these cartoons made. So she became a voice. So I kind of put the people who tribute like Chad and Spooky. They're members of my channel.
Mm-hmm.
So I take members and people who help tribute, and I'm doing it on purpose, but it just helps to get the cartoon made. And it's like my way of saying, hey, thank you, Chad, for being a member of the channel. Thank you, Spooky, for being a member of the channel. Because you're members, you're going to be a voice.
I think that's
It's only
perfect.
like
I mean, people want to be involved. That's great. If people
How in the hell could I not be a member of the greatest YouTube show of all time, The Paranormal Highway, dude?
I am doing the show today at 2 p.m. I am doing the show today, but I don't have the link up. I'm actually working on it right now because the cartoon took all my time, so I'm behind getting these links out for shows. But I am doing the show today.
What you got? What are you
Yeah, it's
doing
coming up, man.
today? Yeah.
Well,
What do you have
today's
going
going
on
to be
today?
more of a Connor's going to try to jump on. It's more of a crap shoot kind of a show where it's going to be kind of more of an open forum because I didn't have time to prepare everything this week because of the cartoon. It took all my time.
Yeah. It's kind of like Chad and Spooky that who couldn't really, after Carl, they were just so tired. They didn't know who to invite.
Well, I was doing so much research and like watching so many videos before that. I was like,
It was so fun.
now I have to do some more research on ancient civilizations and get ready for AkashiCris. But you brought it. You brought all the info.
I love that stuff. That's like, I could talk about that all freaking day. I'm like, I don't know why. I'm just obsessed. I can't tell you.
This was cool.
I just am.
Now seeing Chris on your channel talking about everything she's talking about, I could go to her and say, hey, tell me a story about this area. And that area could be in a cartoon. She could give me like the background.
Backlead.
You know what I mean? I mean, that's what's great. That's what's great about the community.
You can port over to the tepes or port over to Easter Islands because those damn heads, those are fun. You can have a talking head, the talking heads of Easter Island.
That's what I mean, Chris. You're a source now. I can go to you and say, hey, tell me the background about this area. Hey, listen, you and the talking statues, I never thought about that.
The
you
talking
just put something in my mind.
statues. You can hit like an entire group because there's like a little line of them and you can kind of animate them and you can add your little voices. They could be arguing. It could be so much fun.
Journey into the Easter Island. Yeah.
And it kind of matches the whole theme of how the hell are these people jumping back and forth around the world. So you get to educate a little bit and entertain. It works.
Well, Chris, when you're showing them the drawings, I was in the chat like, hey, that drawing looks like a wormhole. That drawing looks like Jamie the monster. And I could link that drawing into a cartoon in a way. Like, it could all
That is exactly why I do Euphoseum. There's something about an artist's view of this phenomenon and this whole experience. They see it with different eyes, and I love to watch how they pick up, because even just interpretations of cases or interpretations of what their imagination or what downloads they're getting, it's just so fascinating. And cartoons are just another expression. It's art. It's very complicated art, but I just love doing this. And the creativity in this group is so impressive. We have a very creative team all
is.
across the community. It's insane.
Connor was the one who wrote the script part of what if we take Barry? Everything he says in that cartoon yesterday has a meaning into the Bigfoot world. Anybody who studies Bigfoot will understand when he says, find a girl like Patty. That's famous in the Bigfoot. Or the California boys. Everything that Anthony says has connection in the real Bigfoot world. And that's what we like about doing this is try to also put in connections of the real story, but in a fun way. And now you're a good source of all these islands and stuff of that part I can use.
I can help you create some plots, in there for you. I can help. So it's I don't know if you've ever seen, I used to do, and I'm going to do a second season of Justice for Lulu. It was all about Lulu the dog. Lulu the dog with IBS. So
the dog with IBS.
She was the farting dog. She farted with Big Willie, Lynn, and David Hurley.
That was right.
And then it became a series
awesome.
of her seeking justice. So we're going to come back with a second season of a new Justice for Lulu. Lulu
Sounds
gets a
good to
career, kind of like Kim Kardashian. She goes to law school. It's going to be quite fun. So those are the things I'm with you in coming up with storylines because I think ahead of where am I going to go with the story before I start, Eric. So I'm with you.
Yeah. And Terry Brown in the chat is a huge supporter. He donated who helped me really get these cartoons made. So Terry Brown, thank you so much.
Terry Brown rocks.
Seriously cool.
Terry
He's
Brown
always
is a
so
member of the
supportive
Chat
of
Podcast.
all of us.
Love you, Mom.
Thank you,
He's
Terry.
always in all the chats.
Well, think about it. The whole cartoon's been crowd funded by the people in the community.
Mm-hmm.
I have no
That's
sponsorship. No company wants to sponsor me. I don't know why, but so it's all been funded by everybody.
It's cool. It's edgy, and everybody. I mean, it's a fun project for creating unity as well, because you have people coming together around this cartoon. It's just I see nothing but positive, man. So just keep doing your thing.
When people say there's no originality no more, I'll say fuck you. You just not watching.
Yeah.
There is originality.
I say the same.
You gotta watch it. I hate when people say there's no originality. Yes, there is. You're just not looking. Or
Bam.
Or people don't care. Oh, that's not Nickelodeon. I'm not gonna watch it.
Awesome, man. Thank you, Eric, for jumping on and talking about the clip.
Well, I'll let you guys
Unfortunately,
go.
I gotta close this up. I gotta go make molds.
Yeah, I have to go. I have to
And
go
I'll try to
someday.
stop killing you guys off. Or are you really?
He leaves right at the last
Oh,
second.
he did it on purpose. That was
He
like
did that
so
on purpose.
Sopranos.
That's
Don't
right.
stop believing. Boop. He's gone.
So that was Eric from Paranormal Highway. Please go check his channel out. And I put the link for the video in the chat earlier. Actually, I should probably do that again. Right here, Paranormal Highway. There's his link. You can go there and check out both of the videos that he uploaded. And it sounds like there's going to be more on the way. So thanks again
so exciting.
for that. And AkashiCris, thanks for hanging out with us and joining us on such short notice. This was awesome.
Love you, Chris.
Love you too. Thank you. This was so great to finally. I know that I've been on screen with Spooky, but this was my first time with you and like talking and stuff. And I love your Sunday readings. Sunday
thanks.
mornings. I always dial into that. So
I always love seeing you in
Lee
there.
First Floor on Saturday nights. It's like we have our little hangouts that we always do.
Absolutely.
Anything you want to?
It's great.
Anything you want to plug, Chris? Any thing coming up that you want to
I
plug?
know we got a new UFOC episode. I got Cassie coming up next weekend.
Yeah.
So 2 Oracles and Beyond on Mindforked. And then Connor is going to be talking Bigfoot. And I might be live streaming from Rich Cat Ranch this weekend. I might do a little surprise stream. We'll see if she agrees. We might be going live by surprise. So
That's
lots of cool
so
stuff
good.
coming up. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
And I'm working on a couple of other ones that are like, I'm so excited about too. So
awesome.
many things. So I
Well,
love you
awesome.
guys.
Well, hey,
Thank you
check
for
back up
having
on
me.
you.
And by the way, your interview with Carl, you guys really did such a fantastic job, way better than I ever did. You guys got stuff out of him that was so fan. No, seriously, I'm not blowing smoke up your butts right now.
Carl makes it easy.
It was impressive, and you guys gelled. and that's exactly what I knew would happen.
Oh,
When
thank
I-
you so much
You know,
for
when
that.
Spooky was talking about Colin, I'm like, oh my God, these people are just gonna go, and you did. So thank you, and thank you
Thank
for
you.
having me.
No
Thank you,
problem.
Chris. We
Thank
love
you
you.
for being here. Bye.
Love you. Okay, bye.
Love you. No, that was awesome, Spooky.
Dude, this week has been amazing.
Yeah, this is an awesome week. Thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out with us on Tuesday and today. Carl and Ryu blew me away, and then this one was even cooler with all the different pictures. I like how she came with a whole slideshow.
How about this guy right here?
Chupacabra, great to see you, man.
Come on in, brother. You're next. I hope. I'm praying.
Yep, got to get you
Let's
up here,
do
bud.
this.
That'd be fun. All right. Unfortunately, I have to get going and go to work. Spooky. And
What are you
for
talking
everybody,
about? We're at work.
yeah, I wish this was my work. It'd be fun. Speaking of, if anybody would like to support the Chad Smith podcast, you can go over to buymeacoffee.com/ChadSmithPC. You can be a $5 supporter or a $10 supporter. Either way, we love you the same. The $10 support does get you a private invitation to the Chop Shop after party. So if that's something that you're interested in, please check that out. What else? Oh, we're also sponsored by W Energy. Go to w.gg if you're interested. I know a lot of people are addicted to energy drinks like I am. They're not cheap, but this is another alternative. If that's something that you're interested in, go to w.gg and use promo code Chad Smith to get 10% off all your purchases.
Get you a Dubby Tubby.
Get you a tub of Dubby. They're really good, actually. Honest opinion, I don't like the apple one, but the all the other flavors that I've tried are really good. The apple one, I'm just not a fan of, like the artificial apple taste, I guess. But all the other flavors I really liked. So if that's something that you're interested in, go check that out. w.gg. It's not .com. w.gg, and then use promo code Chad Smith for 10% off all the purchases.
Right on.
Spooky, got anything else, man?
That's about it. Just for, we got the Paranormal Chop Shop Friday night. Tonight, our boy, our man, Roach will be on Tadiwaba.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I've got
Can't
all
miss
my
that.
notifications turned on for all the Tadiwaba shows, but I forget which ones are which. So that's going to be
It's
fun.
going to be a good one. Yep.
Yep. Please go check them out, and we'll see you guys tomorrow on the Chop Shop.
Thank
Take
you
care of
guys
each
so
other.
much.
See you guys.
Love you.
It sound right, boys.